What's up guys, Elfis here, and today we're going to be doing another HoN replay analysis. This one is going to be for WoDeZu, who ends up playing Myrmadon. A couple of things to note before we get into it. First of all, Taddy Jangles is not joining me this time, because specifically just because he wasn't here when I am doing this, and I don't have a whole bunch of time to wait. Plus, you know, I have the time, so I figured I might as well do one. Even without Taddy, it'd still be helpful. So, it's just me this time, unfortunately, sorry to say. The other thing to note is, well, there's two more things I want to note before we jump into this. First of all, Core Pool is the game mode, and this is a casual mode game, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that's what he said it was. One sec, let's just quickly confirm that. Casual mode is one of these casual mode. Okay, good. So it is casual mode. So it's casual mode. So there's no gold lost upon death, and I believe there's no experience lost either. Yeah, that's right, I think. So no gold, no experience lost upon death. And it's Core Pool. So Core Pool, first of all, I have said it multiple times, not necessarily on here, but just to people I talk to and such. Core Pool is a terrible game mode. I don't know why they added this. This is terrible. They said, they being S2, said that it was originally designed to help new players get used to the game, as well as old players kind of refine their mechanics and skills and such. This is absolutely terrible. And the main reason it's terrible is because out of the 40 heroes they selected, like 30 of them are carries or damage or nukers or something like that. They only have like 5 supports, give or take. It's idiotic, you know. So I'll go ahead and show you. So we have Glacius, Demented Shaman, Myrmadon, true supports, and then you can play Witch Slayer, true support if you so desire. I don't particularly like him like that, but you can. Andromeda, and then Illuna if you want to play him like that. And then there are a fair amount of intelligence heroes that can be played supporty, but really aren't hard supports. They're not true supports, okay? So they have maybe 5, give or take, these 3, Andro, and then Witch, I guess. Although I don't like Witch as a support, but, well, not as much as I like him as like a solo. But so they have 5 true supports, if you want to count it like that, and I wouldn't really count Witch, but 5 true supports out of 40 heroes? You're pretty much, like, forcing teams to pick poor team composition. I hate this game mode. It's so stupid. Whenever you play it, you end up getting 4 carries on your team, and it's just idiotic. It's battle of the carries, really. But with that being said, we are going to get into it. I do want to note that even though he plays Myrmadon, it doesn't really look like he plays a support Myrmadon. It looks like he's playing more of a kind of a damage-dealing Myrmadon, which is odd, but we'll talk about it when we get through it. So we are going to go ahead and unpause it, and we are going to jump into it. So while we're waiting for the picks to go through, actually, you know what? I'll fast forward a bit, and then we'll see what we get. So Flint, of course, we have a Predator on the Legion team. Blue here takes Predator too. So just a note, I remember that one. I don't remember much of the others, but that's okay. We'll see him in a sec. Wild Soul and Arachna, I remember those, and I think I remember Ra too. And Polly does end up getting picked as well, I believe. So we're going to jump in, we'll talk about team composition real quick, we'll talk about starting items, and then we'll focus on Myrm for the majority of the game, okay? So jumping in. Legion team, we have Predator, Polly, Flint, Magmus, Myrmadon. Hellborn team, we have Glacius, Moon Queen, Ra, Arachna, Wild Soul. So Legion team, you have pretty good team composition, actually. The one thing is that I would like that ranged carry, i.e. Flint, to be a bit more of a carry that kind of scales well throughout the game. Not that I don't like Flint, I just, in this composition, it kind of seems a bit, but that's totally fine. Still good team composition. You have good initiation between the Polly and Magmus. You have good carry between the Flint and Predator. Support between the Polly and Myrmadon. You have good team composition. Good team composition, okay? Which is odd in Core Pool, by the way. I've already mentioned it, but that's just, it's unusual to get good team composition. Hellborn team. So they have good team composition too. Certainly not as good. They have 3 ranged carries, and Wild Soul is a ranged carry, even though he goes melee most of the time once he hits his ult, or he should anyways. But he is a ranged carry technically, but he's kind of an odd ranged carry, not to be played in the same way that many of the other ones are, and we can talk about it more at the end. But he's So we won't focus on that so much, but the team composition, they have too much carry and not enough support. Sorry about that. I'm not sure why that popped up. But so too much carry and not enough support. It's kind of just odd. It's not a wrong team composition. It's just certainly not the usual. So lanes for the Legion team, we have laning yellow and orange. What the hell? Yellow and orange. Polly and Predator down bot. Flint mid. Okay, so no. These are bad lanes. Okay. You have 3 supporting kind of heroes. So what you should have done, And you could do this in a couple ways if you so desired, but what you should have done is either Poly or Magnus mid, and then Predator and Flint in lanes, probably Flint in the short lane, because Flint doesn't have any escape. You're coming up here, the bear. You probably shouldn't. Okay. I guess you're assuming that WoDeZu's going to be jungling. He actually does jungle, so I mean that's a fair assumption in this team, yeah. Because usually you want to lane WoDeZu either solo or as a jungle, so that's fine. I still would have warded the pole over this camp though. Even if you had to wait and miss the 30-second, it's still better, trust me. But so anyways, you usually want your carry to be with the support. So first of all, you have Flint solo mid against an Arachna. He shouldn't do very well in mid. That's not going to be a good combination. Arachna should beat him pretty bad until he gets a few levels in his range, anyways. And then you have Predator Polybot. That's fine, but if you wanted to do it that way, you should have swapped Flint up top and let Magnus mid or something. Magnus got boots first, so that's terribly wrong. Terribly wrong. I actually didn't look what level game this is, but I'm going to guess probably a 1400, maybe 1500. So missing a few denies, not a huge deal. In casual mode, the denies do not make a difference. The only thing they affect is they don't get the gold from the last hit, obviously, but they actually still get the same experience, I believe. So I could be mistaken. I know it's at least less experience lost, but that's just me. This is... Whoa! No! This is a terrible dive, like one of the worst dives you could have possibly done. You do not have anywhere close to the damage to do that. And actually, Magnus, even with his boots, he may dive. No, probably not, because WoDeZu is stupid. If you stop moving when Myrmadon shoots that little thing. Oh, you might die, actually, though. Oh, bear not attacking you. Aha, stupid bear. But if you stop moving when the magic card hits you, you don't get stunned. The stun only procs if you're moving while it hits you. But so starting items Myrmadon, we didn't talk about. Starting items Myrmadon, you got plenty of regen, a couple minor totems, couple wards. I love your starting items. They're flawless, man. Don't change them. The only thing is that those starting items make it seem like you're going to play support Myrmadon, but then you don't really do that. So I love the items. I think you should change your build, though, change the way you play Myrmadon later on in the game and play support Myrmadon. He is a hard support. It's the best way to play him. Nobody would make any relevant or intelligent argument against it, but we'll work with what we got. You didn't play him, so I just take that advice for future reference. In this game, we'll comment on the way you did play him. So plenty of regen. I love that on Myrmadon. Your warding is, we already talked about that. That's a bit off. Somebody needs to get up a 2-minute ward for the first rune. Okay, so the Legion team does not have one. None up here to see anything here. None down bottom. In this case, I would probably say Polly should be the one to do it, since he's really playing support, and this should be another kill once Leap comes off cooldown, which it will in a second. Oh, please, don't let him get away. Don't let him get away. Leap! Now he's gone. He regened up too much. Moon Queen too fast. Moon Queen's ridiculously fast. 320 move speed for starting. That's crazy. It's the highest in the game. There's only a couple. I think Bloodhunter's another one, and then there's like, I think it might just be her and Bloodhunter. So let's see. Farm. Who's getting the farm in this lane? Myrmadon, Magnus. Neither of you, really. At 3 minutes, 6 waves have come past, okay? So 6 waves. 6 waves times 5 creeps each. That's 30 right there. 30 creeps. For those of you who couldn't do the math. Oh, Magnus, you gotta get the hell out of here. I'm fine with you using your mana like that to scare him off. The only thing is that keep in mind that Ra got a fair amount of regen, and he's leveling his ashes to ashes, which you should be able to see based on when you attack him, the little ashes go around him. So you know he's leveling that. So I wouldn't waste too much mana on it, just because he's going to regen it all back up. That's just Ra. That's why they sent him solo, because he has that crazy regen power. I still wouldn't have sent him solo probably, but hey, to each their own. Magnus getting stupid items. He's going straight for boots. You need regen on Magnus, especially against a Ra. You need regen against pretty much anybody, but especially heroes that can harass you fairly easily. Ra can do it with his comet. What's it called? Meteor or something? Path of Destruction is what it's called. Okay, so he can harass you with that fairly easily. Somebody needs to be getting these last hits. So neither of you are getting them. You're not really killing Ra. You're not really harassing Ra too much, either of you. So somebody needs to be farming. If it's going to be you, it's going to be you. If it's going to be Magnus, it's going to be Magnus. Whoever, though, in this case, definitely should be Magnus. But somebody needs to be farming. Missing that last hit for no reason to auto-attack a creep. There's absolutely no reason to do that. You're pushing the wave up, and on top of that, missing last hit. So, you need to practice your last hitting, man. That's just something you need to do. On top of that, seeing as how you guys are in the top lane against the solo Ra, you should be kind of pushing the wave up a bit to the tower, and then going after Wild Soul in the jungle. Wild Soul has no escape, really, and early on he's not tanky without his ultimate, okay? He has the, if he can get an entangle, it's kind of an escape for the stun, rather for the root, but it's not amazing. What the hell? How do we have a 5-minute portal key on the enemy Arachna? Whoa, 500 GPM. Okay, so the enemy Arachna is dominating this game. I have not been watching her, but apparently she went mid. Yeah, see, I told you she was going to beat Flint. Her CK sucks, though. So, well, not sucks, actually. She should have about 27 by now, maybe 28, a little more than that. So it's not terrible. Flint's certainly not having a good time. Of course, he's probably not very good at last hitting, too, would be my guess. Okay, so here's what we need to do. You guys have 2 people top now, alright? Against their 1 top. When the lane is pushed up this far, the support in the lane, i.e. you in this case, can go roam and help other lanes. Now you know Arachna's bottom and not mid, so there's no point in going mid now, and Predator's dead. But yeah, PK. Whew, that's such a dumb item, but to get on Arachna, but we'll talk about it. It has its use, just certainly not as much as other items, but we'll talk about it at the end. So one of you, in this case, of course it would be Myrmadon, can roam to go help the other lanes at this point. You're 6, you should have red booties. Yeah, you have 840. I'm not sure why you don't. Did you get this ward, by the way? Yes, nice job. You got a ward. It was a bit late. You should have had it earlier. There's no excuse for that. But that's okay. Better late than never, I guess. We still have no upgraded courier. That's something that needs to be done also by around the 2-minute mark. You can delay it a bit, depending on how your mid is. Usually you want to have the upgraded courier by the time your mid gets his bottle. So he can have his bottle delivered to him with haste, you know what I mean, with a little bit of speed to it. It's not crazy important to have it at that exact time, but that's the time you want. Before then, it's not super useful unless you can use it for scouting or such, which in lower tier games I do not recommend. But by the time he has that bottle, you want to be helping him. So yeah, you should be out. You should have one in wave form. We do. Feel free to use it. It's not super mana intensive, so don't worry about it. Also, out of the 2 of them attacking Ra, which I'm not sure why yeah, you guys should have backed out. You shouldn't have gone on them when they came in on you at all. And I'll show you the exact time you could tell that it wasn't a good idea. So we're gonna push up the lane here in a sec, and then as soon as you see Wild Soul, it's not a good idea. And I'll show you why in a minute here. You'll see it in just a second. So we get hit. That's unfortunate. Use a little Rune of Light, but really, it's right about here when they start attacking you, and I'll show you how you know that it's not a good idea to turn around, okay? We'll wait for it. I thought it was closer than it is. Here, I'm going to fast forward a bit. I guess I went back too much. My mistake. So, we're going to go forward, go into 8 times, just so we can do it. Okay, here it comes. After Wild Soul finishes killing those creeps, we're going to see it, hopefully. Jeez, I went back way too far. I'm sorry about that. Okay, here we go. So, no. Alright, you know what? Let's just keep fast forwarding, because apparently I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Okay, here it comes. Now. So right up here, you're up here by yourself. Magnus, first of all, is out of position. You shouldn't be that far back. Second of all, you see the bear right here. Okay, so pause. So first thing to note, Ra missed his comet. Okay, Ra is on cooldown. His comet's on cooldown. Okay, but you really need to have some map awareness, because I know it's tough, especially when you're getting ganked, but you can see Arachna on her way. And at this point, you know she has a PK. You should not fight that. If it was just the 2 of them, you could have fought that. You can beat them, assuming, especially if Ra misses his comet, okay? But you see Arachna coming with this ward. You bought the ward, use its ability to see. You see her coming. And then on top of that, having that knowledge, now granted you may not have had the knowledge because you didn't notice it, but you should have. Okay, they missed the comet, it's not a huge deal. What I would do is kill the bear, which does happen. Kill the bear, free gold. Now you guys are dead though. Arachna shows up, you're both dead. And Magnus doesn't even decide he wants to get out when he should have, okay. Magnus is going to live, I think. Yeah, he should, unless we get a PK on him. No, okay. He should live then. Alright, so that was the time, though. You bought the ward, you need to use its ability to see. That's the point of it. I know it's tough, I get it, but map awareness is crucial if you want to be good at this game. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Similar concept, by the way. We still have 1,000 gold saved up on you, so I'm not sure what you're going for. Yeah, you needed that way sooner. You could have gotten your boots way sooner than that. Not that they would have helped you very much, if at all, but they certainly were necessary before that. I'm not totally sure why we're just sitting here. Also, you should just sit in the well so you regen that mana back. I'm not sure the reasoning behind that. Now, I mean, it's not a huge deal. You've only lost 75 mana, but still, why do that? Why waste the mana? It's just those itty-bitty things. There was no reason to port down here on top of that. You could have ported mid, or you could have walked mid and had the TP ready to go bot if necessary. You need to be very careful right here. I'm not sure what he was doing. He's getting way too ballsy. Watch out. Use your waveform. You still have it. Still no waveform. Okay, so apparently you don't know to use waveform. I'm not getting it really. It's incredible. It's an awesome skill to have. So use waveform more often. You guys did win that fight, so good job by you guys. It was a bit more so just Rob being stupid and walking right in, and then on top of that, Arachne used her ultimate when she couldn't focus you down. So if you can't focus someone down, if you know they're going to get away, the ultimate isn't super necessary. You have this gold. Somebody, either you or Polywog, and actually Polywog could complete with boots right now. But, yes, free kill. Nice, you got the tower. They didn't even get the deny either. Very good job. Arachne should be the main focus, not Moon Queen, because Arachne's doing much better. So just keep that in mind. Usually you want to kill the one who's going to end up hurting you more. It's not super important. And then on top of that, who'd we get? We got Moon Queen. So nice job. Somebody did chase her and got her. Where are you? So you're a bit out of position here. You missed the kelp field. Or sorry, kelp field is bubbles. This is weed field. My mistake. So you missed that. That was a bit unfortunate. I don't think it would have made a huge difference. I think they still would have won that and all lived, but just a key thing. Now, on top of the fact, I could understand it a bit before. Now there's range indicators, though, so you can see, and I haven't played Myrmadon yet since the range indicators have put in, but I imagine just like the other ones that have long-range skills, it shows like a path that it'll follow when you use it. So you should be able to see exactly where it's going to hit, so there's no real excuse for missing it like that. I'm sorry. It's one thing if they dodge it, but there's no real excuse for just blatantly like missing it like that. We did get Steam Boots. That's fine. If you're supporting Myrmadon, you should get Strider, and it doesn't look like you're going to, so that's okay. Steam Boots are fine. So let's see, your GPM, your CK. So your CK is terrible, creep denies are okay, GPM's bad, XPM's bad, okay? Well, actually, your XPM's okay. It's adequate. It's certainly not good, especially considering this is a casual mode game. So you use your weave field to get, or your waveform to leave the well, but you don't use it during team fights. I don't know, I'm confused. Also, you have the gold. You should, I mean, I know you may have been like a few gold short in the well, but you should carry a TP with you at all times, just in case. So hopefully I'll see you buy a TP up here when we get to the outpost, but we'll see. The other thing, okay, you have your Steam Boots in strength form, that's fine. So we have 3 people top. The only reason you should have 3 people in a lane like this is if we're going to push. So if we're going to push, that's okay. It looks like we're going to... I mean, it's okay because you know they have 3 bottom. And actually, you have no reason to fear Wild Soul. The only thing you need to be careful about is Arachne. So she has that PK. She is so squishy, though. So squishy. People underestimate Arachne's, like... They think she's tough as soon as she gets some kills and all that. No, she is so squishy. You can kill her. Look, let's see how much health she has. Where is she? Over here. Yeah, 800 health. She actually put a point. How many? 1? Yeah, 1 point in her armor just to remove debuffs. It's okay, I guess. But she's so squishy, alright? And you don't even build Steam Boots on her. You build the Ghost Marchers for the more mobility, because that's how she works. But she's so squishy. So if you were to hit your Weed Field, Carp, and then, you know, a Flare from Flint, she'd be practically dead. And people underestimate that. The other thing is this is... You're not really pushing all that effectively. You guys need to be doing some more tower damage. Okay, here we go. That should be a free kill on Boo Boo, to say the least. Flint ult. Nice. That was unnecessary to do that there, Magnus. You're probably... Yeah, you're definitely dead. Nice job. Nice job indeed. Very good job. See what I'm saying? She's extremely squishy. Also, do not be afraid of Moon Queen when you have creeps around. Her ult's on cooldown. You guys can go back in to fight that. Turn around. Thank you. Okay. You have enough mana. Yeah, see, look at that. If you get one, yeah, kill the tower. Tower first, Flint. Tower first, please. Thank you. Okay, now go kill her. It's a free kill. Free kill, and this is why you should have the TP, so you can get out afterwards, but I think you can kill Glacius too, so no worries. I swear to God, if you guys don't go all the way back to get her, I'm gonna cry. Please don't let her live. Oh my God, I will cry. Please don't. Please keep going to get Moon Queen. I will cry. Please. Thank you. Thank you. There we go. Yes. Very good job, okay? Now you would presumably have a TP to get out. Look, 2,600 gold now. So here's what I expect you to buy based on the route you're going. You need a helm if you're going to go this kind of damage dealer tanky route with Myrmadon. And I actually like helm and Bludgehouse, but the Bludgehouse isn't necessary, okay? Some people don't always like that. This Polywog stayed way too long. He's being stupid. Stupid people will be stupid, though. What you going to do? So Grave Locket also. Grave Locket's lovely. I actually saw that in your items at the end. I'm not sure if you get the helm or not. I think you do. But so Grave Locket I love. Grave Locket you would have gotten regardless of whether you're playing support or not. But Grave Locket is awesome. So Grave Locket, Steam Boots, okay, perfect. I hope... Well, you know what? Actually, you don't even need to complete this into a power supply. You can leave it as a mana battery if you want. Or a mana battery, sorry. But some people will, and that's totally fine if you want to do that too. It's okay. It's only another 240 considering you started with the... Okay, so we do get the completed... thing. You can complete the Grave Locket right now, I believe. I'm almost 100% sure that it's only another 250 after that. So yeah, so I don't know why you didn't. Okay, there we go. We did get it. All right, I thought that was you teleporting out. My mistake. Okay, so we're coming mid here. Let's see, what do we got? XPM lead. Yeah, okay, 2.6. Not a huge lead. Also, look around the map. No wards for the Legion team. That is. That's big no-no. That shouldn't happen ever. Ooh, had you hit that carp, you actually would have been really close to killing him. This Arachnid's just waiting for the ult on Flint, probably, would be my guess. That's what I'd be waiting for, just for the chance to get Flint. He needs to be careful. Yep, there it is on Flint. Moon Queen, ultimate, Polywog ult, nice job. Flint died, but it looks like you guys are going to win the fight. I don't know, that Glacius ult's kind of beastly. Okay, Magnus ult coming in. Clutch there, nice job. How low are you? You can go back in. You can go back in, just make sure you're... Well, now you can't. Now you can't. Now your ultimate's off. Be very careful. One moonbeam and you're done. Very nice job. That was very well played by you, actually. Staying in the fog of the trees in between here. She couldn't see through there. And on top of that... Well, no, actually, she had the mana for a Q. I'm not sure if it was on cooldown or not. I wasn't paying attention, but very well played by you staying in the fog. Let's see, what are we gonna get next? No matter what you go on Myrmadon, if you want to play that like tanky guy, whatever, fine. I'm not sure if Myrmadon's a guy or girl. I think it's a guy. That looks like a guy's face to me. What do I know? But so if you're gonna play that, either way. Really, crowd control is the way to go. You just get different crowd control items depending on what you're going to go. So you're going to get what appears to be a Shaman's Headdress, I hope. They have plenty of magic damage, that's fine. You should always get the Mystic Vestments first, though. There's no reason not to. I mean, the only thing I can think of is if you want to use this to, like, farm the jungle or something for the regen and armor, and then get the Vestments right after that, but... You're not really going to do that. Plus, you already have a helm, so you don't need it for the regen, at least to farm, anyways. And so the Mystic Vestments are the way to go. Please don't fall for the creep. Okay, Flint apparently did not take my advice. Flint fell for it. Same thing. No wards. I'm just curious to see. I want to show you what it is that you see. So let's see. We'll see. You see nothing. Look at all this sight. You don't see anything past the river. Not a damn thing. That is horrendously terrible. You need more sight than that. Now, thankfully, it's not making a huge deal, and these guys tend to be making a fair amount of mistakes. I'm like, what are you chasing? But I can't remember. I keep forgetting that. Okay, don't chase Raw. No. So you chased after Raw. That is such... I mean, you're going to beat him, because this Raw's bad. But that's not what you should be doing. You should be focusing on great carries. Granted, Raw is a type of carry. He's not the same type. That was just... I mean, these guys are just misplaying left and right. And the game's about to end anyways. I mean, well, another 10 minutes. They're already calling a vote to concede, though. These guys are just misplaying left and right. You guys have a better team composition. I did mention that. But That's really not what it came down to. It came down to them just misplaying over and over again. But in general, don't chase the carry out, or chase the tank out of the fight. I mean, granted, Ra is kind of a carry too, but Moon Queen is much more of a carry. Arachna, much more of a carry. Wild Soul, much more of a carry. Any of those three are your targets of choice, okay? Not Ra. And actually, you usually avoid attacking Ra unless you have to, because the more damage you do to him, it procs his ashes to ashes, and he does more damage to everybody around him. So, Flint is playing once again out of position. I actually don't really like his items all that much, but we'll talk about it in a sec. Apparently, we're gonna beat him. Yeah, nice job. He took way too long to use his ultimate. He should have used it much sooner, but it's okay. The team in general should have come up and helped you. You guys are winning this much. You can be a bit ballsy, so it is what it is. Let's see. See, this is why you usually get like some type of crowd control item. Usually, the crowd control items have mana regen built in. Not all of them, but the majority of them, you don't have any mana regen. You really don't. 3.45, that's nice. It's okay because of the locket mostly, and I guess a bit because of the stats from this. But so you have that, which is nice, but it's not really enough. Usually, you want like 5+. It's just the way it goes. The other thing is that you haven't been changing your boots. So use the boots. You can use them for more mana regen or a bigger mana pool as well, if you wanted to. So feel free. Okay, Warp Cleft. I don't know what that's gonna be. If that's gonna be a demonic breastplate, that's okay. If you want to go that tanky route, which it looks like you're going to, that's fine. It's not. Well, it's not fine, but the way you're playing, it's okay, I guess. But when you get demonic breastplate, you would always get Soul's Bulwark first. There's never any case that I can think of, at least, where the Warp Cleft is more use. Yeah, I don't think I can think of one. The only one that comes to mind is maybe like a hero like Predator that has the Carnivorous or some auto attack ability that would greatly increase the team's potential. But there aren't that many that would be more useful rather than, all that armor or negative armor. So in general, Soul's Bulwark first, okay? Especially if you're going to go that on Myrmadon. Always on Myrmadon, Soul's Bulwark first. We're going to skip ahead a bit. I'm not sure what the pause was for, but hey, it happens. I forgot to turn auto skip pause on, so I apologize for that. But it is what it is. And what I will say is I wasn't paying too much attention to the leveling. I will go back. Actually, you know what? I don't need to. I'll just tell you how you should have leveled your skills at the end, okay? This is an incredibly long pause. What is the deal with this? Okay, thank you. I don't know why we waited so long for that pause, but it is what it is, I guess. So still no wards from you guys. It's like, if this was my team, I would be incredibly infuriated, because that Arachna, even though she's not doing it because she's bad, she could just walk into your jungle and pick you guys off like one by one when you're just like farming the jungle or something. There's no reason to have 0 wards like this. Now, whether it's you that buys them, or Polly that buys them, or Magnus that buys them, or whoever that buys them, somebody needs to buy them. It is what it is. You need wards. And granted, they don't have many wards either, and that's the only reason they're not walking into your jungle and just killing you left and right. So thankfully, they misplayed just as much as you guys did in that sense, or otherwise you guys would be sad pandas every time Arachna walked into the jungle and killed you, but it is what it is. Let's see, we got another 1,000 saved up. I think Pollywog just got his PK. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't get to see the picture in good detail, but Magnus just trolling a bit. There's no real reason to get up here. I mean, I guess for a little bit of sight, but it puts your PK on cooldown, so it's not really worth it. I mean, I guess to an extent, but even still, it's just, I don't know. That's my personal opinion, I guess. How many PKs do we have on this team? Just one? Just one. Okay. That's, I love those items, but I'll talk about that at the end. So that's fine. Magnus can feel free to initiate whenever he wants. You guys are very far ahead. He just needs to make sure that he initiates on the right person. So if he initiates onto Ra, then he's stupid. You could probably still make it work. Oh, yeah, so it was a poly PK we got. This should be a free kill. When he sends the bear out like this, the bear cannot teleport back anymore when it's being attacked. It used to be able to do that. They changed that a while ago. But there's no reason to send the bear out like that. That should be a free kill on the bear. The bear has a significant cooldown, and it does damage to him, so there's no reason to not kill the bear. The other thing, if you guys were to, for example, even though there's another tower, and I always advocate getting all the outside towers before doing Kongor, but if you got just one ward right there, you could do Kongor if you push this wave up just a little bit. You want to get the wave like here, and then you can do Kongor with just one ward as the Legion team, that is. And you can just do Kongor, free Kongor, and then you can break into the base, okay? It's tough to break into the base without a Token of Life or a Genocide or something like that. Free picks, picks off, uneven teams, that is. So I get the point, the hesitation down here, as in not jumping in, that's fine. And I'm glad you didn't, actually. I was kind of curious if you were going to. But you can do it when it's off the tower, but you shouldn't tower dive into the base, especially at these low levels, but rarely should you do it anyways unless you're really far ahead. I mean, it happens, actually, but it's not something I like to tell people to do, because it's one of those things you shouldn't do. Yeah, I don't know what your team's farming. Just towers and push. Again, kill the bear. There's no reason not to kill that bear. There literally is no reason. Use your spells on the bear. Have fun with the bear, kill it. I mean, it's just not... There's no reason to let the bear go. Not a single reason. And without that bear, Wild Soul's kind of a crappy hero, to be honest with you. The bear is what makes the hero, not shitty. So we'll talk about it, but... and actually, his items make me want to cry, but we'll talk about it. Let's see, anything else to talk about real quick? This game's pretty much, it's one-sided at this point. I mean, look at the huge gold and experience lead. There's literally almost zero chance they can come back from this game. So, I mean, it's possible, but not something that's likely. Nice combo there, nice chain of the stuns. I'm not sure if you did that on purpose, but it was a good job. This is Wavefield in and ults. Wavefield in and ults. You just Wavefield in, there you go. Not Wavefield, sorry, Wavefield. Wave pulling in and ults. Kill the bear. Yep, good job. Especially if he's running away like that, low health, kill the bear, but kill it. The bear does 400 damage at level 4. It's not a small nuke. It's a fairly significant chunk of damage. This is game over. They should concede at this point. I'm not sure. There's probably a fair amount of raging going on. Dark green, whoever that was. That was Racker. Decided he no longer wanted to play. Yeah, it happens, I guess. But it comes down to these shitty items anyways, but I apologize. Sorry, yawning a bit. We're gonna see the concede here in a second, so while we're waiting for the concede, let's talk about your leveling abilities. So, Myrmadon. There's two ways you can do it. You can do it the more so damage way with the surefire damage, or the crowd control way, and usually the crowd control way is the one that's advocated if you're good. If you're not good, then the damage way is better, I think, the pure damage way, but it's not quite as, when you think about it, crowd control ensures that you can get off more damage. Not only that, but it'll save lives too. But so you crowd control someone, they're stuck there, you can potentially do more damage to them while they're there. So that's the idea behind it. So essentially, what I mean by that is you can either max Magic Card first or max Weed Field. Sorry, my mistake, people. Weed Field first. Either way is okay. I prefer Weed Field because of the crowd control. But if you do Magic Card first, that's fine. Magic Card. We're not going to see the Immortal, unfortunately. The game's going to end here in a second. Now remember that, you don't get the Immortal. That's disappointing. Okay, so quick summary from Myrmadon, then we'll summarize everybody. So Myrmadon, first of all, I already talked about how you should have played the hero. You should have played the hero as a support, not the way you did. And I'll talk about how to play it as a support in a second. But I want to finish my thought on the leveling your abilities. So leveling your abilities. Leveling the Weed Field first is always advocated. If you cannot land Weed Fields, and I know it's a complicated thing to do, it's hard to do, okay? It's not something that you can just say, no, I'm pro, I land every single Weed Field. No, because if you're playing against intelligent players, they can avoid them. Alright, there is a delay on it, it's not instant. So I understand that. And if you can't land them, then level the Magic Carp. That's okay too, alright? It's obviously not preferred, but it is certainly fine if you do it that way, okay? Either way, though, you want to have one level in waveform by level 4. You could get it by 2 if you think it's going to be a really aggressive lane, but usually by 4 is okay. And then max whichever one you want to max first, and then max the other one, and then get waveform before your stats, of course. Obviously taking your ultimate whenever you can, 6, 11, and 16. Now, with that being said, now that we've gone over that, you should have played it as a support. Okay, you should have played hard support Myrmadon, alright? Hard support Myrmadon, what should you have done? Your starting items were flawless for a hard support Myrmadon. You should have gone Striders instead of Steam Boots, completed that Grave Locket much earlier. You could have Mystic Vestments, still would have been a fine item pickup. You can even get the Helm still if you want to do that, okay? It'll certainly be delayed, but it's not wrong. Then you need crowd control items, okay? Crowd control items, Storm Spirit, Tablet of Command, Sheepstick, Hellflower even, but Hellflower is less so a crowd control item because it doesn't actually stop them from moving, it just silences and perplexes, and of course increases the damage taken. But usually it's not the first item you would get after the Helm if you're going to get the Helm. I'm not a huge fan of Helm on support Myrm, but it's okay if you need it. If you're dying too much and you want some survivability, it's okay, although usually that's what the ultimate's for and you don't need the Helm, but it's okay. But so usually you would probably go for Storm Spirit next, or Tablet if needed, and Tablet in this time is fine, because of the Ra and Arachna with the kind of sustained crowd control kind of thing. It's totally fine. And Storm Spirit's fine. And then after that, probably a Sheepstick would have been awesome to have. You could also get a Void Talisman if you're dying too much to the physical damage. You could get a Barrier Idol if you're dying too much to magic damage. If they have like a Plague Rider or something, or in this case a Glacius and Moon Queen, all that, it's still acceptable to get a Barrier Idol in this game. But you need to be warding frequently, and you need to be, if not the one to upgrade the courier, helping whoever is upgrading the courier support, okay? 13, 1, and 6 is not a good score for a support. You don't need that many kills, okay? You do not need that many kills. You need to be giving them to Flint and Predator so that they can get their items sooner, farm sooner, and win the game sooner, okay? Now granted, they did fine on their own, and we'll talk about them in a sec, but that's the theory behind supporting. You don't want to finish with that high of a KD like that. 13? No, you should not be that high, okay? Unless your carries are 13 as well, 13.1s or whatever, then, 13 to 1, then that's fine, but you shouldn't be taking them from the carry like that. And I'm aware that you helped set up many of them, so don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you stole them, just that you should have given them to somebody else, okay? Either Flint or Predator. I mean, Magnus didn't really need them any more than you did. I mean, I guess he did a bit, but not quite as much, so not that much more, I mean. So that being said, we went over your items, we went over your gameplay, we went over your skills. The only other thing I'm going to talk about is your last hitting and map awareness. So last hitting, you had terrible CK, okay? And look at your lane. So 25 minutes, your lane got 77 CK, alright? That's not good even on one person in 25 minutes, okay? One of you, probably Magnus, like I said, you should have been playing support, but Magnus should have been getting much more CK than that. You should have had in a 25, especially in a 2v1 lane where Wild Soul, he only ganked once, I believe. And actually in that one time he ganked, you guys shouldn't have even died, so it was a bit mistakes by you. But so Magnus should have had much more farm than that. Whoever is going to get the farm, though, if it's not you, if it's not Magnus, if you guys want to do your Myrmadon, then fine, whatever. But whoever it is should have had, 125, something like that, maybe even more than that, alright? Especially if it's Magnus, but if it's Myrmadon, it's okay if you're going to be getting less than that, I guess. Just about 125, though, is right. So keeping that in mind, nobody was on par where they should have been as a farmer, okay? As a support, if you were supporting in your lane in 25 minutes, that's fine, 40 to 50 CK is alright, okay? Notice how he has about 43, that's fine. Even though he was actually supporting, his item here, the portal key, would be a bit misleading in that sense, but we'll talk about it in a minute. He has more than you, okay? So keep that in mind. You need to be farming. That's what the laning phase is for. I mean, granted, if you can get some kills, cool, but it's for farming primarily, alright? So that's really all there is to talk about with you, other than your map awareness. I talked about it a bit. Just pay attention to the map more. You really need to pay attention to the mini-map, and on top of that, warding. If you had more wards, it would have been easier to pay attention to the mini-map, but unfortunately it's something you need to master if you want to get good at HoN. Sorry, but it takes practice. So I like to, the way I practiced it when I was learning it is just constantly, while you're in the laning phase, constantly look down at the mini-map in between every last hit, okay? So you get a last hit, look at the mini-map. You get a last hit, look at the mini-map. You get a last hit, look at the mini-map, etc., etc., okay? Every time you know that you're not going to miss a last hit by looking at the mini-map, do it, alright? In the laning phase, that is. It's a bit different in the other phases, but That's how you get used to it, and then before you know it, you're just checking the mini-map throughout the whole game. In the mid phase, late, mid game and late game, you're just checking the mini-map just because you're used to it now. It just happens. You just have to get used to it. And then last hitting, you did just miss some last hits. Same thing, just practice. I've talked about it before. It just takes practice to get good at that. So it is what it is. But you did play quite well. You just didn't play how I was expecting to hear a Myrmadon game played. I'm not happy that you played this way, but you did play well considering the role that you tried to fill, although you shouldn't have tried to fill that role. But it is what it is. Predator, I love your items. I would have liked to see, and maybe you thought Myrmadon was going to get a Demonic Breastplate, but Demonic Breastplate should have been your next item. The Abyssal Skull's fine too. It's not wrong. I just don't think the lifesteal and all that's necessary on Predator, so that's why I would have gone for the Demonic Breastplate sooner. I love the Steam Boots, love the Insanitarius, love the Frostburn, love all of them. Awesome. Alright, your CK is a bit low, but it's okay. Your creep score is totally fine. Or not your creep score, sorry, your KDA, totally fine. XPM, GPM, awesome. You did best in the game with that stuff, man. I mean, not XPM, but GPM-wise. XPM, you were just a bit behind Myrm. But either way. Polywog. So Polywog, you went support, kind of. So you were supporting Predator in your lane. Couple things. First of all, CK is okay. The way you played was a bit... You died too many times. I wasn't watching you, so I can't speak for it, but you shouldn't have died that much. The next thing, the ring is fine. The boots are okay, although Steam Boots is probably preferred. The power supply is fine. You do not get bottle in side lane, ever, unless your mid lane is not going to get one. Now, in this case, I'm not sure if you knew Flint wasn't going to get one or not, but regardless, you should never get one as a support in a side lane duo, okay? The only time you can get it in a side lane is usually, the only time that it's acceptable, rather, is in a solo side lane, okay? You can get it in a solo side lane if your mid is not getting one. You were not a solo side lane, so you should not have gotten a bottle, okay? The portal key. The portal key is fine, but as a support, that's not what you should have gotten. As a support, similar concept behind Myrmadon. You should have gone for crowd control. So, Storm Spirit, Tablet of Command, just literally all the items I've listed for Myrmadon would have been acceptable for you as well, okay? Sheepstick, all that kind of stuff. Barrier Idol if you needed to. That kind of stuff, right? Flint Beastwood. I don't like your items, okay? People love to get... I love your Steam Boots. Steam Boots are fine. You should have had a couple Soul Scream Rings. I think I noticed you have one at some point. But you must have, actually, because you built the Energizer. So you did get one. I like to get two on Flint, just because he lacks in the damage and stats early on and all that. But it's not a huge deal. If you got one, it's okay. The next thing, you went Shroud first. Shroud first I don't like. I don't like it because it's easy to counter, okay? It's very easy to counter, assuming the enemy team is competent, alright? I don't like Shroud first. I don't mind getting it later in the game, because you have the damage and sustainability to back it up, okay? If you're depending on a Shroud for the first 20 minutes of a game, that's very unfortunate. You're not going to be doing all that well, okay? And actually, you did okay, but it wasn't because of you. Your team kind of carried you a bit, man. Not that you played terribly, but you certainly didn't play very amazingly either. The next thing is your CK was really low. Now, granted, you beat Arachna. You both did really shitty in mid. I'm not sure why I wasn't watching. Maybe you guys suck at last hitting. I don't know what to tell you. Practice makes perfect. The next thing, Energizer. I don't like Energizer on Flint, because on Flint, when you pick Flint, in my mind, you're kind of saying, well, I'm sacrificing the survivability to, have the potential to boost out more damage and, kill more, okay? So I like to kind of go that route, alright? Now, what I do get some survivability, of course, but I usually don't rush an Energizer because I'm not focusing on escaping early on, and same thing, similar concept behind the Shroud. You're using those for escape early on, really. I like to focus on just positioning myself correctly early on, so you don't need to invest in all that. If you can't do that, I guess it's okay to get those items, but the way I do it is I get 2 Soul Scream Rings, usually, after my Steam Boots. Sometimes I'll get 1 if I'm doing really well, but either way I get at least 1. If I'm doing really well, and especially in a casual mode game, I may skip them, but in a normal mode game, of course, I get 1 or 2, usually 2, then I'll go for a Frostburn next, then I will either break the Frostburn up into Geos and Frostwolf, or I will get Conjuros, or I will get a Shrunken Head, depending on what is needed in the game. and then after that break up the Shrunken Head, get a Ganjros if I hadn't got one already, and then it comes down to, do you want a Savage Mace if you need that? Do you want a Wingbow if they're not getting a Savage Mace, you want to evade? Do you want, a Shrunken Head if you didn't need it earlier, maybe now you need it? Whatever it is, it could come down to a couple things, so it's hard to say for your final, 1 or 2 items, but in general, that's how I play him, really. Your items aren't wrong, I just don't like them. We didn't talk about Magmus. So PK fine, your boots are fine, I love them. You were trying to get farm in your lane, I think, but you weren't doing a very good job with it. You kind of suck at last hitting. Practice makes perfect, once again. The next thing, you went for Hellflower right after that. I'm totally fine with Hellflower right after that. The only thing is that you should have gotten Mystic Vestments for sure, and actually I didn't mention this for everybody else, but this applies to everybody on the team with the exception. The only one I would say is acceptable to not get them is Predator, and even then I probably would still have gotten them on Predator. It's just that he has that magic immune, so it's not as big of a deal. But you need them on everybody else because they have a crap load of magic damage, okay? Mystic Vestments on Polly, Flint, Magmus, and Myrmadon, although Myrmadon built his into a Shaman Tetris, of course. Mystic Vestments, though. So you need a Mystic Vestments before your Hellflower, okay? If you want to get a Hellflower, that's okay. If you want to get Crowd Control, that's okay, too. If you want to get a Demonic Breastplate, or I'm okay with that, or even just, get the Souls and then complete Demonic Breastplate as your last item, that's fine, too. If you wanted to get, I don't know, you could go on and on. There's a million items you could get next. If you want to get a Barrier Idol, if nobody else on your team's getting it and you need one, sure. You could get a whole bunch of things, all right? Hellflower's fine, alright? It's totally fine. You just need to work on your farming and stuff, man. You did have a couple clutch ultimates, though, so I'll give you that one. On to the Hellborn team. So Glacius, you should have been playing support in this team. Those items do not dictate support. First of all, why did you get Plated Greaves? It makes no sense. There's no reason to get them on Glacius. Unless there's something I'm missing that they give for Glacius specifically that makes it good on him. I don't know what to tell you. It doesn't look like so. So, no, there's no reason. The only thing I think is that maybe you were going to, no, you know what? Maybe you were going to break them up later on and get like a Sacrificial Stone or something like that. I could maybe see that, but even still, there's no reason to do that. You should have just completed Striders. Or even if you didn't want Striders, Phase Boots or something else, not Greaves. They don't make any sense. You got 2 Fortified Bracers, so one of them, totally fine to get the Astrolabe. The second one, I'm guessing you got because you wanted more survivability. That's okay. I'm alright with that. It just kind of gimps you a bit, is all. It's not a huge downside. It's fine. Then you got Power Supply. It's totally awesome. Then you got a PK. So the PK, now I'm like, what the fuck, man? Why'd you get a PK? You're like setting yourself up to kind of play not support at that point. It's like, what? Get Crowd Control items. I already listed them for Polly and Myrm. Similar concept, though. Storm Spirit, Tablet, Sheepstick, Hellflower, if you want to go that route. A whole bunch of Crowd Control items, right? Crowd Control items galore. Moon Queen. Your items are fine. That's going to be built into a G. Whoa. Okay, now I'm confused. So we got the Iron Shield. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Iron Shield. Phase Boots, Steam Boot, Ghost Marchers. Sorry, my mistake. So you got Ghost Marchers, Whispering Helm, Iron Shield. Iron Shield's fine. I don't think you were taking that much damage that you needed one, but if you were, that's totally fine. Iron Shield's okay. Your boots, you should have gotten Steam Boots. I know everybody likes getting Phase Boots on her, or Ghost Marchers on her, because she has such a short range. You want to be able to catch up and do damage. Steam Boots are more valuable. They give her quite a high movement speed for that reason. Because she has a short range, they give her the highest movement speed in the game of 320. The Ghost Marchers are not necessary, okay? With that being said, it's okay that you went that route. I just don't think it's quite as good as you should have been. I love the Whispering Helm, it's totally fine. I love the Firebrand if that's going into a Geos. And then we got a Blessed Orb, which looks like we're going into a Geos. And then we're like, Mighty Blade. What? I'm confused now. So I'm guessing that's for a Shrunken Head. But why wouldn't you just complete the Geos? The Geos recipe, I believe, is either 800 or 600. Either way, though, it's less than the Mighty Blade. Why wouldn't you not get the Mighty Blade and get finish the Geos? You know what I mean? Because you have the 2 pieces. Now you just need the recipe. Unless you got that before going for the Geos, in which case, finish the Shrunken Head before you get the Geos. Don't buy pieces of items and not complete them and then go to other items. Complete them before you start moving on to other items, because the pieces are so much less useful than the full item. So much less useful, okay? And that doesn't always apply, but it applies in a lot of cases. Ra, your items are totally fine. You went Hatchet first. I think that was kind of stupid in a solo short lane against 1v2, but it's okay. It's not a big deal. Your boots are fine. Yeah, everything's fine. The PK is a little bit odd. I don't think you needed it. That was kind of dumb. I think you should have gotten a Soul's Bulwark. It would have worked out much better. Arachna, we talked about it a little bit. The Shroud is, the PK first, completely idiotic. You got that before you even completed your Ghost Marchers. Makes no sense, okay? Makes no sense at all. Why would you do that? Why would you get a PK first? PK provides no survivability. Arachna is not one of those heroes that can PK in and just dominate games like that. She doesn't have any burst. Arachna has really sustained damage, okay? Sustained, not burst. She's not Pebbles. You don't jump in, kill everybody, and run out, okay? You stay around, kill everybody, and then 10 minutes later you're like, I'm gonna go for a walk home now, okay? That's how it works, alright? So there's no reason to get a PK, okay? The reason people get PK is so they can PK in ultimate and, and then they're like, oh, now they can't get away. Well, that's cool, but you don't need to do that. You can just walk up ultimate and do that, alright? Especially if you're ganking, you can come out of the fog and do that to people. You don't need the PK for it, okay? Now, there was once or twice where the PK maybe came in a little bit handy, but you could have gotten other items just as well and it would have come in handy too. The way I like to go on Arachna, of course you get Ghost Marchers. You can get a Soul Scream Ring if you want, although I don't think it's necessary. After that, you can go a couple different ways. I kind of like getting an Assassin Shroud on her. It's a similar concept to the PK in that you can kind of sneak up on people, get your ultimate, all that stuff off, but it also gives you the burst and a little bit of escape and a little bit of stats on top of that. Now, granted, it's a little bit more expensive, but hey. Then, of course, you would get a Whispering Helm at some point as your attack modifier, since you don't need the slow from Frostburn because of her built-in web shot, obviously. You can use the Whispering Helm to stack Ancients. You would usually get a Geos at some point too. You can go Geos first if you don't want to go Shroud, that's fine too. Then, at some point, Rift Shards are lovely on her. Damagey kind of items, really. You don't need to build much crowd control on her because she has the crowd control. Shrunken Head you can get if you're getting stun locked too much, although I don't think it's as super important because of her armor. I think it's 16 magic armor that it applies or something like that. It's a lot of magic armor. We'll check here just to make sure, but 32. So that's what I was going to say, actually, but I thought that was too much. So 32 magic armor for 5 seconds. So if you use it at the right time, it's almost a Shrunken Head. That's a lot of, mitigation you have. But still, if you want the Shrunken Head, it's not a bad item to get. I just don't think it's super necessary. Damagey kind of items, really, And usually the sustain is made through the Whispering Helm, and at some point a Symbol of Rage is completed, with that. Same concept for the whole Hellborn team. All of you were underfarmed, so pick it up. Even Glacius was okay, although you should have had a bit more too. But everybody else is underfarmed, way too underfarmed. Okay, on to the last player, Wild Soul. So Wild Soul, you went the Alchemist Bones into what I'm assuming is going to be like a Frostwolf Skull or a Frostburn. If it's Frostburn, why not get the Firebrand first? Doesn't make any sense, okay? You don't need the slow. You need movement speed is awesome on him, alright? And on top of that, it gives you the damage. I guess you could have gotten the Ice Brand for the strength so you don't die as much. That's a fine choice if that's the choice you make. The other thing is, this is a really weird build for Wild Soul, okay? So first of all, the normal build for Wild Soul, even if you're jungling, you can do it in the lane too, but even if you're jungling, you would usually get your red boots. You don't always complete them before. And sometimes people don't even get Steam Boots. I see a lot of the time people will go Striders on him because he has all that movement speed from Wild. You don't necessarily need the Steam Boots. I still like the Steam Boots because it's almost like having a permanent haste. But it's fine if you want to go Striders and then again, eventually build those into a post haste. After that, usually at some point, people maybe get Mystic Vestments if it's needed. If not, they will rush their Mock almost all the time. The Mock goes on the Bear because the Bear can do whatever the fuck he wants. The Bear is OP, alright? It's less OP than it used to be, but it's still pretty ridiculously crazy to fight that Bear. Especially if you can get a Mock and, get some Entangle procs, and just, if you get lucky with those Entangle procs, you're just getting free kills left and right. The Mock is usually the first item. Then people will build kind of tanky. You can get a Frostwolf Skull at some point if you want. You can get Demonic Breastplate is almost always a given on him. You can get a couple of things. But, I mean, I'm thinking this is a recommended build because I've seen this a couple times. I'm not sure if somebody has a build on there. But I don't like it. It's weird. You have like the gloves in the sense that you're going to farm, and it's just a really weird item build out. Plus, on top of that, you were losing, so you usually would not get Sorry, I can't think right now. You would usually not get Alchemist Bones if you're losing, because Alchemist Bones are a farming item, like you're going to farm for a while. If you're losing and you have a theory, you have an idea that they're probably going to beat the shit out of you by 25 minutes, you probably shouldn't try and, get the Alchemist Bones to farm the game. That's 2,000 gold, and essentially the item itself is useless. I mean, it's 30 attack speed, but okay, who gives a shit? 30 attack speed. Nobody cares. The other thing is that the hatchet should go in your bear. I've done a bit of math at some point. I think, I don't remember it anymore. I did it a while ago, but if you have, I think, what's that ability called? I'm sorry for the confusion at the moment. The ability to boost Wild Soul's bear's attack damage base. What's it called? Natural Attunement, okay? Is that it? Yeah, Natural Attunement. Okay, so Natural Attunement. So once you get one level in it, because at first Boo Boo doesn't do a lot of damage. He's just pretty tanky. Once you get one level in it, it's worth it to put the hatchet on Boo Boo, okay? But in general, even if you don't want to, if you can't think about that in the middle of the game, just throw the hatchet on Boo Boo at the start, and it's still a good choice, okay? But yeah, so we talked about everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. Sorry I kind of rushed through it. I'm on a bit of a time constraint. I do have to get ready for work and all that stuff at 6. It's 4:10 at the moment, and I kind of want to relax a bit before I go to work. So I'm sorry I rushed through it. It was kind of a one-sided game, though, so I figured it would be okay to kind of rush through it a bit. I still talked about everything. WoDeZu, or Jamie Rayner, I believe, is the person who posted on the forums for WoDeZu. I'm assuming it's your account, though. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to let me know on here or on the forums or wherever you see fit, as long as I'll be able to get to it, I guess. But yeah, feel free to ask any questions, comments. Everybody else, feel free to keep submitting replays. And if you have any questions or comments of your own for any of the other heroes or for WoDeZu, feel free to let me know. But once again, with that being said, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. My spring break is coming up, so you can expect a fair amount of videos next week. Probably, I have 9 days off from weekend to weekend, So I plan on putting out at the very least like a video a day. So expect that. That's coming up. Sorry about this week. I haven't had much time, but it is what it is. I just, I have a lot of tests this week, so I'm sorry, and I have work on top of that. But once again, sorry for the repetition, but feel free to keep submitting replays. If you have any questions, anything like that, feel free to keep asking them. Other than that, I will talk to you guys later, though. I, once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys later. GG, well played, guys. Elfis out.